You're listening to Mudville Sounds.
Hello?
You had a key to the door of my house and no one to my heart. You could beat me to the end of every sentence that you heard me start. You were my 3 a.m. call, yeah, we talk all night long till we fall asleep. About our dreams and our secrets, yeah, baby, you knew every part of me. So how did we end up like strangers? You're looking through me like you never knew me, as if we're two nameless faces with hearts that aren't breaking, but it still hurts. No, it ain't any easier being strangers. I can erase every trace of your memory that's left in my phone. You can replace me with somebody else so you don't feel alone. I can try to forget all those words that you said, how you made me feel. The way that you kissed me and held me, we both know that it was real. So how did we end up like strangers? You're looking through me like you never knew me, as if we're two nameless faces with hearts that aren't breaking, but it still hurts. No, it ain't any easier being strangers. Maybe someday I'll spot you in a crowd, and I won't feel this pain that I'm feeling right now. How did we end up like strangers? You're looking through me like you never knew me, as if we're two nameless faces with hearts that aren't breaking, but it still hurts. No, it ain't any easier being strangers.
So we are sitting here at Trail Coffee in Lodi with Taylor Nikkole. So why don't we start by talking a little bit about you and your music? Are you from this area originally?
Yes, I am a local here in Lodi.
Born and raised?
Born and raised, yes.
Awesome. And when about did you start getting involved in music?
Getting involved in music, I was around 12 years old. So I went to St. Anne's, kindergarten through 8th grade, and they had their own little like choir thing going on. So I would do little solos here and there. I was in the church choir. So I guess that's kind of where it started, in the church choir, just singing those, church songs as a kid. And then we had this music teacher, and so we had music class at St. Anne's, and he would have us try out for little solos or duets for the Christmas pageants. We would have the Christmas pageants every December, and every class had one song to sing, and then at the end it would be the big Ave Maria, the
Sure.
Latin song.
Yeah.
And so just like doing little things like that. I kind of discovered my voice in the shower. I guess I think that's kind of how it all starts out, is in the shower.
I think we can all kind of relate to that.
Yeah. So I would just sing in the shower all the time, and my mom would say, "Oh, I hear you singing in the shower. You sound really good. Can I hear?" And I would tell her, "No, you're not hearing me sing." And the first time I agreed to sing for her, I told her, "Mom, you have to turn around." I didn't want her looking at me while I sang. I thought it was weird. So
oh gosh.
I would have her turn around, and then as I got into high school, I went into choir again, just getting more into music, I guess. And I did do guitar lessons and voice lessons my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
And then sophomore year, got into beginning choir. I missed the deadline for advanced choir, so I was like, I'll just go in beginning choir and work my way up there, I guess.
At least you're singing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with that, I got used to reading music and being able to, like my teacher would have us do tests on matching pitches and tones and
Sure.
all that. So
you're able to sight read too?
Yes, sight
Nice.
reading, can read sheet music and all that stuff.
Nice.
And then junior and senior year, I was in advanced choir, so we would travel, do competitions. We even went to Hawaii for a competition.
Oh, wow.
And that was very fun. Had a lot of solos and everything like that. And then, well, COVID happened. I was class of 2020, so I kind of put things on hold. I tried out for the Stockton Ports to do the national anthem, and a year later they contacted me, and I did it for a couple summers for them.
Oh, nice.
I even sang the national anthem one time at a basketball game in high school.
There you go.
And then I went to college. I majored in music, but the online was kind of hard. I just wasn't very enjoying it, so I took a year off, went back, and still did some music classes. But
And these are like music theory classes?
Yeah, I did music theory,
Okay.
had an online piano class during COVID, like online piano class. Good thing I had my own keyboard at home.
Right, yeah.
I do music theory, a choir class, the online piano class, and one-on-one lessons with a voice teacher.
All right, so you would be considered classically trained then.
Yeah, so
All right.
I did that for about a semester and a half,
Okay.
and decided to take a little break. Like I said, it was a little hard doing online.
Yeah.
And then, and during all of that, I've been doing piano now for about 4 years. So
Okay.
like during COVID too, I did in-person lessons at the Salem Music Academy. Obviously had to wear a mask and everything.
Sure.
And then, yeah, I went back to college like a year after I took like, my year break and everything. And after that, after I went back for another semester, I was like, Mom, I think I just want to focus on my music. Like, that's kind of just what I want to do. That's what interests me right now. And she's like, okay, like, that's fine. Mm-hmm. So my first live performance was a year ago, almost a year ago this month, and it was at the Calavine Winery.
Okay. Nice.
So, and how that happened was one of my singer friends, his name is Donovan Bryant, that's the name he goes by, but his last name's actually Simpson. He is another local artist here in Lodi. He's currently living in Nashville, which I'm jealous, because that's where I want to move.
And he's Christine then.
Yes, his mom.
Yeah.
She's great. I
she's,
love her.
She's a sweetheart.
She
Yeah,
is.
super talented lady. Super talented. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, and also her husband, which is his stepdad or whatever, like they always perform together too, and
He's a kick. Yeah.
they're a great family.
Yeah, Dustin, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Dustin, yeah.
Yeah, he's a kick. Yeah, I used to come out this way for the open mics over at like
okay.
Woodbridge Winery, and then they started doing them over here by the theater.
Oh, I know they would do karaoke. They do karaoke nights Tuesdays at like
They were doing
Gary's.
open mics.
Open mics. I know Sayla does open mics.
Well, now they don't do it anymore. And I think the restaurant has even changed hands. And I'm trying to remember what
the
it was called,
restaurant?
but it was where the movie theater is. It was right across the street on the corner there.
I know what you're talking about.
McGuire's? Is that what it was called?
That business
gosh.
has changed so many times,
Yeah.
so I can't keep track.
So many times. One of their owners was doing, I want to say it was called McGuire's at the time, but they were doing open mics there. And I was coming through a lot with a friend of mine, and we would do the open mics there, and I would see Christine and Dustin there a lot over there,
Gotcha.
as well as, I think I met them through Woodbridge Crossing. But yeah, no, I still like follow them on Instagram and kind of, do the comment thing every once in a while. We'll kind of, exchange comments on posts. But yeah, great people, people, super talented. And I know I don't see Dustin as much anymore, but I do see Christine a lot in her different projects doing a lot of stuff. That's awesome. Yeah, great. No, awesome. So it was Donovan that kind of...
he kind of helped get my foot in the door.
I gotcha,
So I have met him at one of the farmers markets.
Okay.
Last summer. I think it was last summer, yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, we gotta ask him questions, like, see how he got started and everything. I was like, Mom, like, he's
Your mom
singing.
sounds like my mom.
No, she's like, come on, like, do you want to make this happen? Like, you gotta ask questions. I was like, okay, you're right. And, mother knows best.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And so we caught him on his break, asked him some questions, and I saw on his shirt it said Donnie Devil. That was his, rapper name.
Oh, God, that's funny.
So I was like, that has to be his Instagram name. So for sure it was his Instagram name. We became friends on social media. He said, hey, come out to another gig of mine. Let's do a duet. Like, I want to hear you sing. So I did that at the Calavine Winery, which is also how I got my first gig, because they remembered me singing with him.
Nice.
And they remembered from when I did my duet, and they're like, yeah, like, we loved your singing. We want to have you out here. So I had that in October of last year, and then I had a private event last December for a Christmas party at the Waterloo Gun and Bocce Club.
Nice.
And that was it. I started late last year, so there wasn't really much to do. And yeah, I guess that's kind of when I started taking it seriously. I made flyers and business cards.
So you just started taking this seriously last year.
Yeah.
And you already have your own original music out there.
So they're not like the songs that they're original songs in terms of, like, no one's heard them before. Like, I haven't written them. I am in the middle of writing 3 of my own songs, though. It's just...
So the songs that you had sent me, who wrote those for you?
So the producer that I use, he lives in Nashville. His name is Dean Miller. His dad is Roger Miller.
Okay.
They both have the same name, but he goes by Dean Miller just to, like, separate himself from his dad.
Sure.
But his dad's a very well-known, older country singer-songwriter. If you go to the Nashville Music Hall of Fame, you'll see his dad actually in, like, the little cases there.
Yeah.
And so he will find the songs for me. And then he'll send me different batches of, like, hey, like, here's some songs, like, let me know if you like them, and we'll put together, like, a date and time for when you can come out here and record these. And so, I don't know, I just never had, like, the creative juices flowing yet to write my own music, and I was all, well, I guess I'll do this for now, just to get some music of my own out there.
Sure.
Just for now, to get something to get me started. Because people, when they see, a musician out, and they're like, oh, like, do you have any of your own songs I want to hear? And you're like, well, they're original tunes. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a band, like, I write a lot of my own music, but when I was playing with other people, there was a girl that was singing with me, and she didn't write. So she sang the songs that I gave her to sing. So, there's a lot of bands that are like that, where somebody in the band will write the song and the singer just kind of sings it. So, I mean, it's an original tune. It's your original tune, even though you didn't actually pen the words. Yeah. I'm like, trust me, I wish I wrote them, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But, like I said, I'm still new to it. So, slowly getting there. But, yeah. And then I've had booked a little over 20 shows this year, which I feel like is not too bad
yeah.
for my first, like,
That's
full
not
year.
bad at all.
So, I'm trying to get a head start for next year. I've been already emailing a lot of venues, like wineries, restaurants, and bars, stuff like that. It's also a plus being 21 to be able to perform at most places. So.
Yeah, you're able to drink. You're not really inhibited by that issue. You know?
Some places you can't perform there, like until a certain time. So, like if you're like at Scotto's, if you're not 21, you can't perform there, like at a certain time. Right. It's like it's too late. Yeah. Or whatever, something like that.
That's because when I was younger, that was a big issue that we ran into a lot. Was not just my people, but other musicians that I knew at the time. We were all like 19, barely 20, and we're trying to get booked, and a lot of the venues that are booking are bars. Yeah. And I'm older than you are, so this is dating myself, but this is like 90s. And so we didn't have this huge winery scene that we do now out here. We had bars. So it was difficult. And that was kind of the thing, was you had this influx of these youngsters forming these killer bands. And the venues were trying to come up on it, but because of the legalities of everybody being underage, they had to kind of find that sweet spot and that compromise. So it was like, you could come and play the early show, play your set and get out. And that was like it. A lot of places they would just do that. Like there wasn't necessarily a time thing, but it was just you come in to play your set and then you got to bail. You can't hang out inside. You can't, and now like I just have a show coming up at Finnegan's, and that's how he does it. Is they're fine until 10 o'clock. Gotcha. After 10 o'clock, they can't be in here because they're under 21. And it's understandable. At least it's some kind of compromise to allow the youngsters to have a place to play still. You know?
That's good at least.
Yeah, for sure. So with these Nashville ties that you have going on, have you gone out there yet? Have you flown out to Nashville?
I have. I go my 4th time this year in like a week and a half. So
awesome.
So the first time I went was actually for my 21st birthday. Okay. And then the second time I went was to record my 2 songs. And the process does take a little while. Like they have to mix it, master it, and then send it to me. I send it into a distribution company. Wait about a month to have them release it. Just they recommend you like from the day that you send it in to them, you set the release date a month later, just so they have enough time to approve of everything, make sure there's no mistakes in what you submitted. And it takes a little while. But
for sure. But it sounds like a really fun experience to be able to do that. It is,
because I was like, when I went there the first time, I was like, wow, this is an actual recording studio. I mean, I've been in a recording studio here in Lodi. It was like my little demo, just cover songs. His name's Rick Duncan. He's amazing to work with. I worked with him for about a year.
There is a recording studio here in Lodi.
Here in Lodi, yes. It's in the country. And
does it have a name? Do they have a proper name for their studio? Can we look them up?
I don't know. I actually went to the Music Box because someone told me the Music Box had a studio that you can record in. So I went there one day and they said, oh, we don't do that anymore, but I know a guy that has his own little recording studio here. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay. And his name was what again?
His name is Rick Duncan.
Rick Duncan.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, because we are definitely lacking a lot of local recording studios. And I've been talking to people who are looking for that somewhere locally because they have to keep traveling out to the Bay Area.
Oh gosh, no, he's great. He doesn't charge much per hour actually.
Okay.
And he's old school. He puts everything on a CD for you.
That's great. And old school. I'm over here like 8-track.
But he's been doing this for years. Like he's really great to work with. Yeah, I would recommend anyone that wants to work with him, go to his studio. It's out in the country. It's probably like a 15-minute drive from where I live, so it's not far. But yeah.
That's awesome.
I worked with him for about a year, and I always had the funnest time recording in that little studio.
So how do you when you were working with him, let's say, because that was, like you said, your early demos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How were you able to take care of the instrumental side of things? Because you pretty much just lay down vocals, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still getting used to playing my piano in public right now. So.
Sure. So did you have to hire in musicians?
Yeah, so he would do all of that for me, actually. So he has a lot of connections. He does play some instruments himself. So sometimes he would, to make it a little cheaper for me, since me and my mom would like split the cost of my recording times. And he sometimes would just play an instrument himself to make it cheaper for me. But then for the other instruments, he would call in people that he knows. And one of the guys, his name is Glenn. I think it's Glenn Woodward. Okay. And he worked with, he worked with this famous guy and for like 8-10 years or something. And the first song that I did for my demo, Glenn, he had played the piano part. And unfortunately, he did pass away a few months after that. And it was really sad. And it was also Rick's best friend.
Okay, yeah.
However many years, and also his business partner. But
that's sad, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. And so, he would hire in people to come do the instrumental, and then once that was all done, we would set up a day and time for me to come in, and it would take sometimes 3 hours just so we can get everything perfected.
Okay.
Fix any notes that I needed to, like if something was too sharp or too flat, or had a croak in the middle of a verse.
Right, yeah.
But it was a really fun experience.
That's great.
But
that's awesome. Yeah, no, that's and you were about how old when you were doing that?
I want to say, I know it was during COVID. I want to say I was about 19, 20 years old.
Okay. Killer.
So a couple years ago.
yeah. No, that's a great experience to have so young, though. You know, like I say, there's a lot of us that, you know, we never really had that experience.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the people I know, we're all DIYers. You know, so and like I said as well, is I don't think people know about that, you know, like that there is a studio that's super local that we could have access to, like that the one that I keep hearing about, and for the life of me right now I can't remember what they're called, but I know that there's a studio in Stockton, but they have a reputation for doing like hip hop and rap kind of noises, so a lot of the rockers that I know, they don't really think about going through them because their niche seems to be in a different genre. So knowing that we have other options locally is great, and I think that, you know, if we had more of those options here, or if we found ways to get the word out more, then there would be more people like me and in my group that would have those opportunities to be in those kinds of situations with the proper studio.
And he has a nice studio. It's on the same property as this house. He does not own the house at all. He just owns the little recording studio in the back of the house.
Okay. What are you doing, like, I know that you said that you have a lot of shows that you've arranged coming up over like the next year. Do you have any other recordings that you're working on?
Well, when I do go back to Nashville in a week and a half, it's to record 2 more songs.
Okay.
So, like I said, that'll take a few months to, you know, release and everything. But, so, basically, the reason I'm doing these 4 songs just for now is so I can perform at venues, because in order to perform at venues, I have to at least have, an EP album, which is like 4 songs minimum if I want to perform somewhere at a venue. But obviously I would have to have a band behind me to play all the background instrumentals and everything like that.
And do you have that kind of lined up?
No, not yet. I do have a lot of connections in Sacramento.
So you're looking for musicians?
Yes, I would like to look for a band that can do all of that for me in case I do, book a gig at a venue to play my songs. I think it'd just be a really great experience. And I have performed with the Whiskey Kiss Band. Okay. I don't know if you've probably heard of them. They're a very well-known band around here. I performed, did a little duet with Dave Massey at the Oxford Kitchen a couple months ago. It was just me and him.
There you go.
And it was literally just hey, are you available today to sing with me at Oxford? And I was like, yeah, I would love to. And it was so fun. It was about an hour and a half that I was singing with him. And then I performed with him and his band at Stotto's a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
And that was very fun too.
Heck yeah.
But yeah.
So your style of music seems to be very focused on like country, pop country kind of sound.
Yeah.
So I would like to know a little bit about your influences when it comes to that kind of. I know that you haven't like properly sat down and written your own music, but there has to be a reason why you do the songs that you do, right? Like, so what is your influence there? What do you strive for in terms of sounds?
So, well, first, I did not grow up on country music. My parents did not listen to country, mostly, like, all the, like, older stuff. Like, my mom grew up on, Too Short and...
Oh, gosh, okay, all right.
Grew up on just like a more pop and R&B and everything like that, which I can sing almost any genre. I like to sing classic rock, R&B, pop, and country, but just my voice pairs better, I guess, with country. I can sing pop, but country is just my favorite.
Is there a reason that country seems to just draw you more?
It's just like I can dance to almost any country song, Like, I don't know, just country, like, it's so just happy, and I don't know, just, it's always...
Country is happy,
well,
okay?
not, like, all the time, just, like, I guess, like, I don't know how to explain it.
It just hits you right.
It just, yeah, exactly. It just, I don't know, it speaks to me somehow. I don't know.
Are there any country artists that you listen to more?
There are. Right now I'm obsessed with Maddie and Tay. They're a duo, female country artists. They're both singer-songwriters. And my favorite song is Every Night, Every Morning. And they do sing that song. I don't know why.
Are they a bigger country act, or are they local, or?
So they are based in Tennessee.
Okay.
They are growing a little more. I think they've been growing a lot more the past couple years. I don't know if you know their song "Die from a Broken Heart."
I've never heard of them. That's why I'm asking. Are they like bigger or small? Because I've never heard of them.
They're getting pretty big. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I really do like them. Like I said, I didn't really grow up on country music. My grandma, my mom's mom, was actually the one that got me into the country music. So my great-grandma owned a ranch out in Rio Vista, and I would go help my Nana every Saturday. I would wake up at like 6 in the morning to go drive to Rio Vista with her to help out with the horses and whatever. Keep it clean out there, and she would only put on the country station. So one of my first songs I fell in love with was Blue Like Your Color by Keith Urban, and a lot of John Party.
All right.
So John Party's my Nana's favorite.
Yeah,
and
that's some good stuff.
And so that's kind of how I got into country music. So I think I was like a freshman in high school when I actually started listening to it. But other than that, it was a lot
still earlier than what I was thinking. I'm sitting there like Charlie Pride, Hank Williams, like no,
Hank Williams.
Oh no, Keith Urban. I'm like, okay.
But It was a lot of Carrie Underwood because that's really the only country artist my mom would listen to. And I tried getting my mom into country music, and she was like, no, I don't really like country music. I want to listen to Carrie Underwood. I was like, Mom, country music's awesome. And so she's loves country music now. But
Took her some time to warm up.
So I take a lot of like the artists that I adore. So yeah, I'm more pop country, I guess, for the pop side of music. I love Adele.
She's very talented.
Yes, I love Adele. I grew up a lot on her music. And let's see who else. Well, I love Taylor Swift's old country music.
Okay.
Let's see. And then for like the countryside, Maddie and Tay. Love Maddie and Tay. Of course, Lainey Wilson. I've been really liking her. And let's see who else. Like now that
I love that you're bringing up all these women. Like, I just love it because like it's such a male-dominated industry.
Yeah,
you know,
I used to only really listen to male country songs, but once I started really getting into my live performances, I'm like, I don't really know very many female songs, so I made myself learn a lot of female songs.
There you go.
And
yeah.
So
have you delved into like the here again, old school country female artists like, you know, Loretta Lynn and that like the honky tonk angels kind of sound? Have you kind of gone that far back?
I'm not sure. I do listen actually to a lot of Johnny Cash, and one of his favorite songs that I like to listen to is with June Carter, "It Ain't Me, Babe." I love that song. And then Hank Williams, Waylon Jennings, and then you can't go wrong with Shania Twain. So I do like Shania Twain. I like her song "That Don't Impress Me Much."
Sure, yeah.
I do like that song.
That one got her a lot of awards.
It's like now that I'm trying to think of country artists, I can't think of them. Like,
yeah, that's how it happens.
Brain fart. I'm like,
yeah, that's how it happens. Does it to me too. All of a sudden I get all kinds of brain fog and I'm just like, wait, I can't think right now. Put me on the spot.
Ashley McBride. I like her a lot too. Let's see.
Very cool, very cool. So you would like you sound like you have a pretty eclectic background when it comes to like the music that you grew up with and were exposed to and stuff. Do you think that has any bearing on how you do music now?
I don't
you just do what you like?
I just do what I like, and no one in my family is musically talented. I'm the only one that like sings and plays the instruments and dances and stuff. Like no one else in my family does that. So I've kind of just been learning all this stuff on my own.
Okay.
Pretty much. I guess just none of my family
trailblazer.
No one's been guiding me. I mean, I kind of just do stuff how I want to do it. Yeah. I do have a few famous family members that actually are in the music industry.
Oh, okay.
But they are not interested in the same like genre as I am.
All right.
My cousin Eric Bellinger, he is a like R&B artist. He's best friends with Usher.
Okay.
So they do shows a lot together, and then Bobby Day, the old school Rockin' Robin.
Sure.
That's my great uncle.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah.
So you do have it in the genetics.
A little bit, yeah.
You do have it in the genetics.
Yeah, a little bit. Just I've never met them before. Like
yeah, no, that's fine.
It's just
still
we have a big family.
It's in there.
It's in there.
You know, that's awesome that you don't seem like it seems like you have a lot of support though.
Oh,
like,
I have a ton of support. Yeah.
Yeah. So even though they're not into the same thing, it's like you don't have a lot of pushback for it either. You know. So that's awesome. That's great that they can still kind of get there.
My dad's a correctional officer, and my mom is a nurse. Like totally different from what I want to do.
Yeah.
So, just kind of been learning on my own and. whatever, figuring it out.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Follow your nose, right?
Yep. And, like, you know, if music doesn't work out, I have a backup plan. So.
Oh, yeah? What's the backup plan?
I'm like, well, if my singing career doesn't work out, I want to do something with music. I'm like, oh, maybe I can be a music producer. Or,
there you go.
Do that kind of stuff. Or I would not want to be a music teacher, though.
Takes a lot of patience.
A lot of patience, yeah.
Lots of patience, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe like a music producer or something, or someone who organizes, maybe like a music agent, a talent agent, something like that, something involving music.
There you go.
But,
yeah. That's killer. Heck yeah. So that's the backup plan. What is your ultimate goal for what you do?
Ultimate goal?
Yeah.
So...
Like, you want to get super famous and be all over the radio and play to sold-out stadiums? Or...
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
All right, shoot for the stars.
That's what I want to do. Well, the first goal I want to do is move to Nashville.
Okay.
I'm not moving just yet. I'm going to probably give it another year. I want to get more established here, get a little better at my instruments, get a little more comfortable and just doing my live gigs, just... Sometimes I can get a little shy. Sometimes I need a little drink beforehand to really let loose.
Right, yeah, understandable.
So that's what I do most of the time. I have at least one drink before a gig, and makes everything a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
So, but then I really want to go on, The Voice.
Okay.
In the future. My producer can get me into The Voice, so that's cool. It would be awesome to get a record label, but it's like it's hard to even get one of those, and also just to be careful because not everyone in the music industry is gonna
have your back.
Treat you well, have your back,
and we see that a lot. There's a really big reggae artist right now that is in dispute with one of the big labels because of that exact thing. Like, he was supposed to get, I think, 25 to 50% royalties, and they've used his music in commercials. I think even, Jay-Z has, sampled his music and looped it on his backing track kind of thing, and dude's never gotten paid.
Oh, wow.
And here we are 40 years later or something like that, and he's finally just gotten sick of it in his old age because the guy's up there now, and he says, look, I'm 70 plus, and I just need to get the word out there and make this right so that way future generations are able to be taken care of as well.
Yeah.
So you do right, man. You got to make sure that everybody's legit and that you've got all of your bases covered and people that you're working with have your back, because it can get really bad if that's what your thing is. Speaking on that line, do you ever have to have legal people get involved, in terms of contracts and things like that?
Yeah. So with my producer, I do have to sign a contract with him, this amount of money is due 7 days after signing this contract. It's half the cost of the songs. I have to pay him half the cost of the songs 7 days after signing the contract that he sent me, and he also has to sign the contract. And then at the day and time of the recording date, pay him the remaining amount of money. And so the first two songs, I don't have to pay those people any royalties or anything. I mean, unless they end up wanting me to. But for these next two songs, they do want royalties. I think they want about 15% of what I make from the songs. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't think 15% is that bad. I'm also still fairly new.
Sure.
So it's
sure.
Because the writers, their publishers are Warner Brothers. So
okay.
I can kind of understand why they want some royalties if I make money off the songs. And that's totally fine with me. I feel like a lot of writers and publishers don't make a lot of money from all the work that they put into, like, their passions and everything. So,
Writers, publishers, artists in general. Yeah, the music industry, like...
It's very competitive. It's hard.
Yeah, and, you know, in terms of, like, the indie stuff, like, most of them don't make anything. Like, you can't rely on it to pay your rent, you know what I mean? Like, you still have to have a day job. So, yeah, I definitely understand that. Well, that's really cool that you're able to kind of... Again, at such a young age, you kind of have a really good sense of how this whole thing works and how the gears are turning and how to keep all your bases covered and make sure that you're good. You know, that's awesome. And do you have like somebody that has kind of guided you through that process, or somebody that helps you out with that now? Or do you just kind of, like, handle it on your own?
I kind of handle it on my own. If I, like, have a question, I will ask. Like, if I don't understand a certain thing. Like, at first when my producer was, like, saying, like, the royalty stuff, I was like, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand this. Like, not really understanding. So he did have to explain it to me a little bit. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, yeah, that's fine. I also kind of didn't have a choice because those 2 songs I chose were the only 2 songs that I liked. And I was like, I'm not going to be paying all this money to pick other songs that I don't want to sing.
Right,
you know? Yeah. And so I was like, that's fine. Like, they can have 50% royalty. That's okay with me.
There you go.
But, I mean, I do have my friend Donovan that I can ask, like... I don't know what recording studio he uses in Nashville. I know it's cheaper than the one that I use.
But he's got a lot of experience. And with his parents and stuff, there's a lot of experience there.
He's been in the game way longer than me.
Yeah.
He writes a lot of his own songs. I'm pretty sure he writes pretty much every song of his. And they're really good songs, too.
Yeah, he's a great artist, for sure.
And so, like, I will ask him some questions, like for the Grape Festival, I have no idea how to, like, get booked there, and so I'll ask him, like, hey, how did you get booked in here? Like, who do I talk to? Like, I don't really understand a lot of this stuff. It's like I said, no one's guided me through this or anything. So, yeah, it's all just really a learning process for me right now.
Well, that's great. That's great, though. You really seem to have a head for it. It's awesome. So that's killer. And like I said, it's such a male-dominated industry that it's great to sit here with another woman that is, like, doing the thing, you know, and I love it.
And I hear very often from a lot of the places here in Lodi, like, just everywhere, like, oh, like, we've been looking for more female singers to come perform here. Like, it's just mostly males. We want a female singer every now and then. It's, a nice refreshment to have a female singer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm your girl. If you need me, just let me know. So
you don't have a band right now?
I do not know.
So when you do have your gigs that you do, how do you do those? Do you have like a backing track that you sing to?
Yeah, so on Apple Music, they just updated their Apple Music app, and there's this new feature. It's a karaoke feature. So not all songs have this feature, so sometimes I do have to do the karaoke on YouTube, like look up the karaoke version.
Okay.
So on the karaoke feature, you just click on the microphone that's on the bottom, and you put it to the lowest setting, so that way it's just the background vocals.
Okay.
I mean, not the background vocals, the background music, and then you just sing to it. And it's actually
that's interesting.
It's very.
I have a lot of friends who are like karaoke nuts, so that's really interesting for them to know, is that Apple Music has the karaoke feature like that.
Yeah, it saves me so much time, because how I would do it before that feature existed, I would put together my playlist on Apple Music and then have to go find all those songs on YouTube. But then a lot of the times, YouTube wouldn't have the karaoke versions for some of the songs I wanted to sing, and now I don't have that problem.
Or they're a really crappy MIDI version.
Yeah. Really, I was like, how? I can't sing to that version. It sucks.
Yeah.
And it just, I'm glad Apple Music does that now. It makes it very easy for me. But then I'm like, I can't always use karaoke versions, so that's why I'm really on myself right now about learning guitar. I just picked up guitar the past couple months, and it's coming along. I mean, obviously, I think guitar is a little harder than piano, but that may be just because I just started doing it again.
Yeah.
Way better at piano right now than I am at guitar. But I do make myself play at least 3 to 4 songs on my piano at my gigs now, just to get myself more comfortable.
There you go.
It's different practicing at home than performing at a gig, because obviously it's in front of all these people I don't know, and there's also a microphone in my face while singing and playing the piano.
That's why I wear my hat. Because I have a lot of those same anxieties, and that is one of my big things when I'm performing is I have my big brimmed hat and I just kind of like pull it down a little bit more in front of my face and I just zone out like.
Really?
Yeah, I just zone out and do my thing. Every once in a while, I'll kind of tune back in, like, oh, there's people here, hi.
Yeah.
And then I get all awkward and weird, and then I just kind of, okay, I'm awkward and weird, so I'm going to pull my hat down and just start playing again. But yeah, that's I fully understand those kind of weird anxieties.
Yeah. So that's why I also make myself go do some karaoke nights at some of the bars here in downtown Lodi. Like, Five Window does it, Gary's does it. If there's open mic nights, like Scotto's just had their first open mic night a couple weeks ago, and that was my first time singing and playing the piano at the same time, and I did okay, actually. The first song was a little rough, but I was like, guys, this is just my warm-up, I promise, like, I actually do play very well at home. Like, you just kind of gotta laugh at yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and so...
Yeah.
But then the next 2 songs I played were actually pretty good. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So you were saying that Scotto's has started to do open mics?
Yeah.
And where else around here does open mics?
Open mic, Salem Music Academy. Just
Salem Music Academy.
They do. They actually have these little schedules that they have. You can actually go into Salem Music Academy and they'll give you a little sheet that has like event times that they'll have for like a certain season, certain time of the year, and also sometimes at the farmers market or the street fair, they'll have their own little stand for an open mic. You have to like do a little sign up sheet.
Oh wow!
And yeah,
okay.
it's pretty cool. They also have their own concerts that you can perform at too if you would like. That's also another way to put yourself out there.
Sure.
Some practicing in. But
yeah.
I've done that a couple times too.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're great.
I like Sila. It's either Sila or Sela. Sometimes I say both.
I think it's Sela.
Sela, yeah.
Sayla. Yeah, I think it's Sela. But they're awesome. They do a lot of really great stuff for the scene. So, where can we find you? Like can we find you on social media, on like streaming services? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so my 2 songs that I have out right now, it's pretty much on every music platform. There's Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, TikTok. I put it on as many music apps as I could.
Okay.
And then I do have a Facebook and Instagram. I just made my Facebook account for my music because, a lot of people do have Facebook still.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a younger generation, and so I use Instagram more than Facebook. But I was like, I need to make a Facebook because...
Sure. Can't have too many platforms.
Yeah, exactly. I do need to post a little more on TikTok, though, because a lot of... You never know. You can have that one video that just blows up and...
Yeah.
Works out. But, yeah... I do have Instagram and Facebook for my music account. I do have a website too.
Okay.
It just has like a little bit, like a little paragraph about me and who I am, a couple pictures, and it has like my music email, my phone number, like just ways to contact me. It has my feature dates and times, and then, yeah.
And what is the website address for your website?
It's a little long. So it's Taylor Nikkole, but Nikkole is spelled Nikkole. So taylornicolemusic.squarespace.com.
All right.
So that is my website. And I did order new business cards. It makes it a lot easier for people to contact me. So it has QR codes for both Facebook and Instagram, which I didn't think to do that before with my first business cards. But the first business cards that I had created, it was just something to have people contact me. Just something for people to contact me. I was like, this is a start, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hold this and remember my name.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
And then...
So, one of the things that I close out all of my interviews with are words of wisdom. So, I know I might be blindsiding you here, but...
Ooh, words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. So, if you'd like to drop some words of wisdom to close us out here.
Oh, now I'm really gonna get nervous. Like, what are some good words of wisdom, Taylor? I mean, I guess, like, for me, it has been a little hard, like, kind of going down this path, because literally none of my friends are into this. So, like, they're all into, they want to go into psychology, or nursing, or business, engineering, like, all totally opposite things of what I want to do, but they're still supportive and everything like that. But I guess, like, if it's your passion, if that's what you want to do, then go for it. Like, even if, you know, you have to do it all yourself. Like, I am my own promoter. I don't have an agent that does anything for me. I do it all myself. I do have people that do help me, but I don't know. I don't really have any words of wisdom, I guess.
I think that was wisdom enough.
Wisdom enough.
Pursue that passion.
Wisdom enough for how still new I am to this whole thing. So,
Blowing up my phone on a Friday night. You're out with the boys, buzzing on Bud Light. Well, baby, yeah, that's cool, but I ain't gonna be waiting on you, no. If you think you can show up here whenever you want with a six-pack of beer, well, thinking that you're gonna get something, Don't wanna be your halftime, downtime, summertime in the sun. I wanna be your spare time, sometime, anytime, pick me up. Wanna be your all-in, fall-in love you've been dreaming of. If that ain't what you got in mind, baby, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Boy, I want more than a moonlight minute. Want the kind of kiss that you get lost in it. And I don't care how late it is, what day it is. All I know is this. Don't wanna be your halftime, downtime, summertime in the sun. I won't be your spare time, sometime, anytime, pick me up. Wanna be your all-in, fall-in love you've been dreaming of. If that ain't what you got in mind, baby, don't waste my time.
listening to Mudville Sounds.